I'm starting recording. Okay, so I will now share my screen to go with the PowerPoint. Give me a second while I am sharing the screen. I'm in this page and share screen and screen 2 share. So let me know if you can see a PowerPoint presentation in the screen.
Yes, we see the presentation.
Okay, thank you. So as I mentioned, it's about SoftLMIS, which is an inventory management system module under the DHIS2 platform.
Yani bir tane mail adresi aç İstanbul Influenza diye. Orada birleştir işte.
Sorry, I mean, I think those who would be listening, if we can mute our microphones, that would be helpful. So we are from SoftWorks, Bangladesh, and we have a partner working with us in this project in the French area, which is Silversis Group. They are based in Africa. As you see, these are the countries: Ghana, Mali, Senegal, Burkina, and Ivory Coast. They have office. So it's a close work of two of our companies. The technology matrix. The technologies that we work with, mainly with web-based software development. And you might see on the right side that DHIS2 is also one of our competence that we have worked with. We worked on PostgreSQL, MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle, and we have web-based software. We have been developing dashboards for quite some time. So I'm moving to the next slide. So our experience, if I may say in brief, we have been working for last 12 years as a USAID subcontractor. We worked with NGOs like Management Sciences for Health, Chemonics, and PATH. And more than 5 years, we have been working with the DHIS2 platform. And our touched countries in DHIS2 are Burkina Faso, Benin, Botswana, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Mali. So our software has touched 19 countries as of now. So in the next slide, I will show you the countries that we have worked in, the health information systems that we have developed. So let me take the laser pointer a little. So we started working in the West Africa area, where our first project was OSP-SIDA. Some of the members here may have heard about it. It was a DHIS. It was a web portal related to HIV stock and patient management. It was a regional portal for a few countries like Togo, Benin, Niger, Mali, like that. They used this site for quite some time. Then we worked in Mali. Some of you might have heard the name OSP Sante. That's one of the platform which is used for logistics, LMIS reporting for more than 1,200 sites. That's the national LMIS system of Mali. One of the major in Liberia, we have developed Liberia ELMIS. They are currently using it. It's also an LMIS system for monthly LMIS report submission and order replenishment system for Liberia. They are using it nationally. Then we worked in DRC, which is one of our biggest platform with 20,000 now. It's 18,000 here. So more than 20,000 facilities, they submit their monthly LMIS report in DHIS2, and then we have a custom dashboard where all the reports and dashboards are generated for logistics management. It also has option of correlation with patient data. In in Benin, our work is the most extensive in Benin. We have initially developed the LMIS portal, logistics management system, for their monthly LMIS report for around 100 commodities. Later, it extended to an inventory management system for the sites. It has a web part as well as a desktop part. So it's being piloted in Benin for now. There are more than 120 facilities who are using the desktop software, and then it allows you to synchronize the data to the server. It also has module for COVID-19 commodities and vaccines separately. So the vaccine LMIS and COVID commodities LMIS is also in use. Recently, it has been extended to allow GS1 compliance, and under the Ministry of Health. We are currently working with the ministry to ensure the GS1 compliance in the LMI system. In Burkina Faso, we are working with the ministry to implement one specific version of the SoftLMIS in the country. They call it NetSigil. So it is being piloted in 68 health facilities in the country. And then there is a plan of national rollout in the coming year. Then, it's an inventory as you will see in the presentation as I continue, and in the demo, you will see there is a resemblance with their system as well. So in the Botswana, we developed two systems, which is mainly in DHIS2. One is for their supply chain LMIS reporting, which is actually an LMIS report in Excel template uploaded to the server, and custom reports. Everything is in DHIS2. And then we recently developed a COVID vaccine LMI system, or COVAX tracker, for the Botswana, where they manage the COVID vaccines and related commodities in that web portal, which is a version of SoftLMIS, you can say, a smaller version of SoftLMIS, which is being used there. So in Namibia, we also have inventory management system and web-based dashboard with synchronization in effect with the major hospitals using our software. In Bangladesh, we have the biggest implementation. As you understand, we are from Bangladesh. So we have more than 500 sites using inventory management system offline and synchronizing the data every day to the central server, which allows you to see the current balance of all the sites, as well as we have a COVID-19 extension, we have a TB extension, as well as we have the asset management system, which is actually a system for costly equipment monitoring, like whether the equipments are functional, whether they are operational, yes or no, how much was the cost of repair, like that. So everything is integrated under this single platform. So I took a little time to explain this slide because this explains like how we have been working in the health LMI sector for quite some time, for more than 12 years. So I'm moving to the next slide now. So what is SoftLMIS? What's it about? It's an inventory management module, which is implemented under DHIS2. That's one short sentence. So four major things here, actually. It's transactional. So every day-to-day work can be done here. And then it's by batch and expiry, means you can manage your stock by batch and expiry. The monthly LMIS report, which is normally needed in every country as a reporting requirements. Facilities have to submit a report, which they normally do manually. Some countries, they do it in Excel. In our software, in other countries, they do it in the software. So the SoftLMIS generates the LMIS report automatically. You do not have to manually enter the data. It can generate based on the transactional data. And as we are saying, it's a DHIS2 app. We didn't hack the DHIS2. Everything is saved inside the DHIS2's default database. We do not store anything outside. Sorry, was there any question? Okay, so let me continue. I would request participants to just have the microphone muted while we are presenting. Okay, so these are the modules that we have. Actually, on the next slide, it is explained in a little more. We can explain it in a little more detail. I'm moving to the next slide. So just give me a second. Okay, so this is the SoftLMIS workflow in its work. So you might see a legend at the top right corner that some part of the software can be used offline while you do not have internet, although it's a web-based application. So to start the software, the main thing is you have to initialize the health facility first, right? Every facility who will be using the software, they need to be marked by the administrator that the facility will start. After that, the facility have to log in first time in DHIS2. Then they have to do their initial stock taking, like how much stock do they have at the start of the application, at the start of use of the application. Their physical balance, they have to put it in the software. Then it's a keyword, the average monthly consumption. They have to mention initially like how much do they need of the different products, what is their average use, which will be used in the future for the order management. After that, they can continue doing the regular operations of the month, which is like they can receive commodities from the higher tier or higher level warehouse or facility. They can, when it's a warehouse, they can issue the commodities to the lower level facilities. Any stock management system should have adjustments, like they have to, it can be expiry, it can be loss, it can be loan in or loan out, anything can happen. So they can adjust their stock. They can, if it's a health facility where patients come for service, then they can do dispensing. Then they can do regular monthly orders as well as emergency orders to the higher level authority based on their AMC. And then they can do periodic stock takes or stock counts or physical inventory, as it's said by some other countries. So as they continue operations of their facility, then at the end of month, the requirements of the LMIS report generation. So before LMIS report generation, they have to sync the data to the server. Means until while they are doing these operations, normally they wouldn't need internet, but at the end to generate the LMIS report or at certain interval, they have to send the data to the server so that it's safe. Like, you know, the local data may get corrupt, or if you lose the data, because of that, you need to regularly sync. And then the LMIS, monthly LMIS report is generated in the server and then downloaded. So, and then it continues with the regular operations of the next month. So this is the typical workflow or the way that the software works. I will be moving to the next slide. So the key features are, I have covered, if you, I'll just mention one or two. So it calculates the AMC and MOS. Those who are in the LMIS sector definitely knows AMC is average monthly consumption, which is normally last 3 months average use of a commodity. And then month of stock. How many months do you have in stock in terms of months? That is calculated automatically as you continue operations. Then there is a automated email and SMS alerts on certain events. As an example, when an order is created and uploaded, then the person responsible in the receiving, in the higher tier warehouse, receives an SMS and an email that an order has been sent, like that. And when an issue invoice is generated, the same thing happens. And also at the end of month, when LMIS report is generated, that the higher level management is informed about it. Even there can be periodic emails like every month, products expiring in next, having expiry date of next 30 days, an email goes with the list of products with the stock balance, like that. This kind of emails can be set up. The restore operation is there, means if you lose your local data, with one click of a button, you can restore it from the server, provided you have the backup stored in the server. So yeah, this question we always get from definitely the Oslo team asked us, like, where are you storing the data? So this is on the left side, we say that we store the data in the aggregate tracker and in the events. We do not store it anywhere outside the transaction data that gets stored. And also the LMIS reports. On the right side, we mentioned the technologies a little, like we developed the software using the app using React.js, which is preferred by DHIS2. They say they actually prefer you to develop the software using that platform. We have our API engine, which is on top of DHIS2. There is a layer which allows to manage the log management or whether things are working or not. We have a layer of Node.js API. We also have APIs which allows you to transfer data from external software. For example, if you have an ERP in the central warehouse, they would not change the software and start using SoftLMIS. That's not possible. So they would be using, they can continue using their software. And then we created APIs. Using that, they can send their data to SoftLMIS, which is their monthly report, as well as they can send their transactions. They can receive orders from SoftLMIS. They can send their issue invoice to SoftLMIS. These kind of APIs we created, and it can be linked with any external system. I'll be moving to the next slide. So there are 3 modes of operations for SoftLMIS. You can use it fully online, means everything that you do will happen immediately in the main web server. There is a second option which is preferred. Actually, we prefer this mode where the main database is online in the DHIS2 website, but the application can continue doing work offline, and the data would be saved in the local browser's cache. And then when you prefer, you can sync the data to the server. We are working on the offline tablet-based version, which we expect to have in next 3 months, which would allow you to do the complete offline-based thing. Means you don't even have to go to the browser. You can use this Android APK to use the application completely offline and then sync as and when required. So these are the 3 modes that of SoftLMIS. I'll be moving to the next slide. So SoftLMIS can be used at all levels. Means if there is a country or project requirements that there is no software at all, then the central warehouse, the other regional warehouses or district warehouses or different tiers of health facilities, they can use the SoftLMIS, and then they can also transfer data between the sites. That's the good part of it. Means the issue invoice can be imported as a receive invoice in the lower level facility. The order can be imported in the warehouse, and then issue invoice can be generated based on that. We will see it when we will see the demo. So these are some 1 or 2 reports that we just put here, but we will see in live after some time. I am going to the next slide. So this is a typical implementation timeline. We are not saying that the software can easily be done in 6 months. We are saying up until, as we have an engine now which works. So we think that in 6 months we can kind of get any LMIS system of a project or a country ready for rollout. On the first month, we will do a gap analysis, and based on what is the gap with SoftLMIS of your country system or project system, we will customize the system, the reports and the entry forms. And then on the 3rd month, we will do an user acceptance testing or a workshop. And then based on the workshop findings, we will update it a little bit. And then we do a central level orientation and maybe the first pilot. Then on the 6th month, we can do a TOT of the master trainers. Then the master trainers can do the country rollout functions. We do not really need to get involved into that big operations that can be managed by the country. That's what we think. In the next, I mean, if you in the question answer session, if you have more questions on it or comments, definitely you can let us know whether you think it's a practical or not. I'm going to the next slide. So we have knowledge transfer options, like we have training options, we have training guides, user guides, and we normally conduct TOT. We try to create master trainers. And then we also have an option of handing over the source code, so that the countries should not feel uncomfortable that when the project goes off, then the source code may I mean, as you do not have the source code, you may have issues with updating the software. We also have an option of handing over the source code if the country or project requests for it, and if they can manage it. We can give training to the developers so that they can manage it in country. We didn't want to compare with other software systems saying our one is better than this one like that, but we want to just give a few points. So we do not have recurring license fees. Like, we will not say, okay, for using SoftLMIS in 100 sites every month, give us X $1,000. So we one time, once the project finishes, you are either you can give a lump sum support contract, or you take the source code and you can manage it in your country or under your project. DHIS2 allows is managed by Oslo University, and then they allows you to extend the platform. I'm sorry, there is a prayer break, so you might hear a little background sound. Hope it's not hampering my call. If it is, I just want to just mute it for 15 seconds. Is it fine? You can hear me clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. Let me continue. So then, as I was saying, as it is DHIS2 platform, you are able to. There are experts who can create reports without help of developers. That's one very good point to develop software under DHIS2. And the interoperability part definitely is there. No vendor lock-in. As I said, we might hand over the source code based on the country or project's need. And as we plan to develop Android app, and in the future, we definitely would like to integrate the GS1 compatibility, like the data metrics, barcode scanning in the system. So then it would have more acceptability in countries and projects. I'm moving to the last one. So this just gives a little idea about how the system interacts with our Node.js API. Maybe not that interesting for this discussion. So we had some challenges. I normally do not like to mention about challenges, but there were a few. Like, normally DHIS2 do not allow you to create reports with more than, let's say, 250 elements. So we bypassed those barriers, and then we have custom reports, which allows you to even create reports with 2,500 elements using the custom SQL commands, but which is inside the DHIS2 platform, definitely. And then we have seen some issues with duplicate element names. Those are there. It cannot be fixed. Then the permission management needs a little more work to make sure that LMIS can be managed. There is an issue with some of us definitely know in DHIS2 that it needs to be, the analyzer needs to be run at night to make sure that some calculations are done on the data. So in LMIS, if you want to see the current data now, exactly now on that second, so that the analyzer need to be executed more than once a day. That's one thing needs to be done. And analytics, I'm sorry, I said analyzer, the analytics. So that's actually the end of the presentation. So I would like to ask whether if you have any burning question to ask exactly at this moment, or you want me to go to the live demo while we are moving. Depending on that, we can continue. Any immediate questions on the PowerPoint or about the software?
Maybe after the demo.
Okay, sure. Okay, then let me close the PowerPoint and then we'll go to the demo. So I hope you can see my screen, which is, let's start with the facility. Okay, so which is a DHIS2 login dialog. I hope you can, all of you can see my screen.
Yes, we see
Okay,
the
so in
screen.
this, okay, great. So in this DHIS2, so this is our one demo SoftLMIS platform where I'm going to log in. Let's say I have given permission to a health facility and I'm going to log in as that health facility. So this is a, I mean, when I say facility, it means someone, a facility where patients come and then take medicines from there. So after I log in, definitely the dashboard comes up. So I'm going into the app, which is, as you all know, that in DHIS2, the app is actually located under the other apps section and as a custom app. So this is SoftLMIS custom app, which I have opened up. So do you think the screen size needs to be increased a little? Is it too small? Okay, so the first thing, remember my diagram, the first thing that a facility can do is a stock take, means how much do they have at the start of using the software. So that's the first function that they can only do. So I'm in the stock take function and then I press the plus button. So every facility has to have a start date, right? Like which day they are going to start. We think that you have to start from the first of a month, because in that case, the LMIS report of that month would be correctly generated. So in that case, the stock take for me, I have set here that I'm starting from 1st of May. So the stock take has to be done just one day before that. At the end of April, what was the stock take? So I have to, for any stock take, you have to have a comments. I'm just saying initial stock take, and then I will make more space in the screen. So if you see here what happens, this is the list of products that I have. For the demo instance that I have some, I have some vaccines because it was from a vaccine database, as well as I have some non-vaccine products like some COVID related commodities. So I will focus on these things. Definitely we can do it with vaccines, but these ones would be okay. So as an example, I can even make it a little bigger, I guess, for you to see. So you see we have adrenaline 1 milligram injection each, so which has a product code here as well. So these are the columns where I need to put some data, the physical count, the batch and expiry and observations. So let's say in this facility as a starting point, I have 200 of adrenaline injectables and having a batch number of L001 with an expiry date of say ending in October. So if I have more than one batch, then there is a copy button on the left side. I can press that and this will bring in another batch of the same product, as you see here, ADR002. So let's say I have 300 of it with a different batch number with a different date. Let me put something in end of December. So I have a batch ending in October and a batch ending in December. Remember that when we go to the stock balance. And for the second product, tips 500. This is a tablet, I'm sure, but I don't know what it's about. So I'll just put I have 100, and it's a batch of this batch, as well as an expiry of this date, anything. So I'll not put too many. Let's continue with these three. So one product with 2 batch and one product without a batch. No, sorry, with 1 batch. So actually the software has options of marking the products, whether it needs batch and expiry. So for the medicines, we have set that every medicine should have a batch and expiry. So like that. So I'm just putting in 3 rows here, and then I have to save the data. So when I just press the save button, data actually has saved in the local. As we are connected through internet, I cannot really show you that it is local and it didn't go to the web, but it has been saved in the browser's IndexedDB. So now when I post it to stock exactly at that time, where is the stock? Let me show you, it's here. When I post, then these stock counts would get saved or added to the stock balance. So I'm just posting it to stock. Then it will say, do you really want to post it? Yes. So what posting means is actually like sending an email. If you post something, then you cannot, it's like, you know, sending it, and it has effect on updating your stock balance. So, and it also allows, as the initial stock balance is done, as you might see from the screen, the other functionalities have also come out. Yes, please. Sorry. Okay. So if I now go to the stock status, you'll be able to see that this is the balance. So I have put 2 batches, right? It was 500, 200 and 300. And then I put LTIPS as 100. So this is the product.
C'est un webinaire. C'est le Pakistanais là qui a
Okay. Then
développé le site chat.
we see by batch. If you
Il a
click on this
développé
button,
le basé sur les 10.
you'll be able to see that this is by batch. So you might see that the adrenaline 2 batches that I entered, L001 and 2, I have 200 and I have 300. The stock is managed. The stock has been updated by batch. Can I honestly request everyone to mute? I'm not sure what. Okay, so sorry for that. Okay, so as you see, the product is managed by total quantity as well as by batch here. And now, as a facility, remember I mentioned about the AMC, average monthly use. This has effect on the ordering. So let me put some AMC here. So initially, when you start the software, you have to mention some AMC, like, okay, how much do you need? Let's say I am saying I need 400 every month in my facility of this adrenaline, and I need LTIPS, let's say 200 every month. So this has to be done only once. As soon as you generate your monthly LMIS report, that will recalculate the AMC and will update it here. So it will be managed automatically after that. So as I said, my stock, the AMC now at every month, normally, facilities have to order to the higher level authorities. So I can come to the order page as a facility, and then I can say, okay, I want to create an order. Remember, I mentioned I am working in May because the May is my current month, and I have to complete my month and then go to June, like that, the LMIS report, and then go to June. So I am ordering to my district warehouse, who will normally give me commodities. And this is a regular order, let's say 1 monthly order normally in our countries. So when I do that, as you may see that as a health facility, it will also try to generate the order quantity for you. How does it do that? So it can generate based on your current balance and average consumption, and based on some predefined calculation like your min max. Based on the min max, it can define how much do you need, and if you do not need. As an example, you have 100, you need 200 every month. So normally the min max is defined as you need to keep 1 month of stock. That's or 2 months of stock. That's why it says that as you need 200 1 month, and then you have 100. So it has said that you would need 100 more to make your 1 month of stock, like that. So these calculations can also be changed, or parameters. So also the user has option to update the numbers. Like he can say, no, I mean, the system said I don't need it, but I really need 200. Like that, he can override these numbers. And he can say, no, please also give me 300 of this product. He can override. So let's say I am done with my order. I don't want to enter too much data here. Save the data and then submit the data. So what submit has done, the thing is, this is an order for the warehouse. You have to send this order to the warehouse, right? But they are not in your site. They are in another site and they have to come to internet, like that. So your data, the two that you see here, I have done 2 tasks. I have done a stock take and I have created an order. So these are in my local computer. Now they have to upload it to make sure that the warehouse can see my order. If you do not push the data to the server, the warehouse cannot download it, right? So I am uploading the data. So now you are safe. The data has gone to the server. If you lose your computer or your hard disk crash or anything happen, you can come to the restore and then you can press this button. All data from the server up to the point you have synchronized will come down and you can continue operations. Okay, so my order has gone to the server. Now I will now log in another browser, assuming that it's in another computer, as that warehouse, and see whether I can download the order and issue against that order. Okay, so I am currently in the Firefox browser, and just look at it here. I'm in the Beta Clinic. So in the Chrome browser, I have the Get a District warehouse logged in. I'll just make sure the login is active. So it's active. So in the warehouse, let's say that the order has come. They have sent the order and then they have sent someone to collect the commodities. Now, as a warehouse, I go to the issue invoice and I can download the order instead of creating any issue invoice. So when I click that button, it shows me the pending orders that are waiting for me to issue. So as an example, remember, I have generated this order from my site, and this is the order number. Remember the 2 products that I ordered? We will see it here. So when I press the select button, that I am this warehouse want to download this order and generate an issue invoice, then what happens is the system will create an issue invoice with all the details, that with the order details also. You see the order details here, and these are the products that were ordered by the facility, and then this is the balance that I have, and then this is the quantity that this is their AMC, and this is the order quantity that they have. So they asked for 200. So one issue is, just for demonstration, I wanted to show that they do not have, we could have removed it. They do not have any balance in this batch 282203, but they have a batch of June. So from this June batch, they are going to, the software is proposing that it's issuing from this 400 batch of which is expiring in June. So the software will automatically decide the FIFO, the first expiry batch, if that has quantity, to be issued. Now the task of the storekeeper definitely is to make sure that he issues from that batch and not from any other batch, like that. So he can issue from this batch, and then this is the 2500, he can issue this 300. So I'm saving the data, nothing to change here actually, and then I can post. When I post this issue invoice, what would happen is this stock would get deducted from my balance. Like if I have 1400, 200 will be deducted from the warehouse's balance and 300 would be deducted from this product. So I am posting this invoice to stock. So this issue invoice is now posted, but you see, as we say, data is stored locally. The invoice has to be sent to the web so that the receiving facility can download the issue invoice instead of manually entering it. That's the data transfer option, so that minimum data entry is ensured. So when I upload the data, so this invoice has gone to the server. Now I am going back to the Get a Clinic. Okay. So in the Get a Clinic, when the delivery comes with the products, then I do not need to enter the data. Rather, I come to the receive and I can say, okay, download my issue invoice in the health facility. And I can say, okay, download the invoice which has been issued to me. So this is the issue invoice that I just uploaded from the warehouse. I select it. Then it will create an invoice of that date. You see, this is my order details and this is the supplying warehouses details. So everything is linked. My order, the supplier's issue invoice, and my receive details. Everything has been linked. So this will allow you to analyze the fill rate, like what has been ordered, issued, as well as received. So you see from here that the order quantity and issue quantity and the receive quantity, everything is in this receive invoice. And if there is any anomaly that can be adjusted, we still allow the receive quantity to be updated in case of any anomaly and observations mentioned. If not, I'll not do any adjustments here. I'll just save and upload it. So what you will see here now, when I have received another batch, right, for the same product, I had 2 more batches in my balance. So when I post this receive invoice, what would happen is if I go to the stock status and I go to the batch, you would see that these are the previous batches, the initial stock batches that I had, 200 and 300. And you see, this is the batch that has just come from the warehouse. This has a date of 2023. So the order, issue, and receive cycle ensures that with minimum data entry, you can manage your stock management system, and you can update and maintain the stock. Okay, one button here as well, like you can export your stock by product and by batch to Excel and use it as your discretion. You can use it for any purpose. Let me quickly show you some other functions. We should save some time for question answer definitely. So the dispense is for issuing to the patients. Although the dispense, so in every pay you just press the button. Although in our case, we do not make it like a dispensing tool, the patient name and all the details. Rather, we say that from the dispensary, if you just collect the total dispensed of that day, that will be minimum suffice. You can say, okay, these are the products. So it will show you the current balance. And you can say, okay, if these are the products we have issued to the, exactly, good, issued to the 2, 3 like that. Okay, that's good to know. 2022, 9 like that. So these are the products that I have I want to issue dispense. Then if I post to stock, then the stock will deduct these from 200, 1, 2, and 3 would get deducted. So these are the options to make sure that you can dispensed with minimum effort. I mean, we could have made it more elaborate, like patient details, but we didn't do it yet. Then there is option of adjustment. On every stock management, there is option of adjustment. These are the few adjustments that we have now. I mean, normally this is suffice, like there is the option of damage. So if anything damages in the facility, then you can select the damage and then select the quantity. Products can expire. Then you can take loan from a facility. So in that case, you can say loan in or you can say loan out. Good thing is loan in and loan out is also automated. Means if you say loan out to facility X, if they are also using software, they can pull your adjustment invoice and automatically create the loan in. They don't have to manually enter the data. Any data entry is the risk of error percentage anyway. So mathematical, I mean, there is always option of mathematical adjustment plus minus. And if anything get wasted, for example, in case of vaccine, you do not say damage, you have to say how many doses have been wasted today because of open vial, like that. That's why the wastage option is here. So these are the adjustment options. For the sake of time, I may not be able to show everything. Stock take allows you to do periodic counts other than the initial stock take. You can do a count anytime, and then you can adjust your balance based on that. Let me go to the LMIS report to show you. So at the end of month, when you are done with all your transactions, you can come to the system and then you can say, okay, as my first month is May, now I can say, okay, I want to generate my LMIS report. So if I press this button, it will tell me that I have to upload everything before generating LMIS. That's true because this is local data. It would not be used during LMIS generation. So I have to make sure I don't have anything pending before the LMIS report. So, and the red mark is also there. LMIS report needs you to be online because it is generated in DHIS2. It cannot be done locally because of the data burden. So when I say I want to generate my LMIS report, it takes a little time and then it gets downloaded. So if we come here and if we, let me try to make it a little smaller for us to see. So if you see here that for every product, there is opening balance, start of May, how much we received in May, how much was issued or dispensed. For the warehouse, we will see the issue. For the health facility, we will see dispense, how much has expired this month, how much has been damaged, how much has been wasted, adjusted, and what is the closing balance at end of May. It will also calculate stock out days in the middle of month. Like if you were stocked out on the 25th and then you received stock again and then continued, then it will say that how many days you were stocked out, even if it is multiple times. It will calculate automatically. Then the average monthly consumption and month of stock will also calculate automatically, and the order quantity for the next quarter, next month. You can also export the LMIS report to Excel. So this typically ends a month, and then you can start operations for June. As May has been finished, now you can continue your order, receive, issue tasks in June. So this is, I guess, the overall functionality of the SoftLMIS. I just want to show 5 minutes more. Would that be okay? I guess, like, I want to show you how the dashboard or the reports look like. You all know that DHIS2 allows you to design reports. These are reports designed in DHIS2 with the stock MOS of a specific product at different facilities. This is a report of selected commodities, month of stock. Then there are some in the vaccines. We have quite some reports like how many vaccines do we have in each site. It can be for any product. I'm just showing you by vaccine. Then it can show you what was the wastage in last month. How many doses have been wasted. Then there is a trend of average use or monthly use of commodities by month of the selected products. So like these, you can generate any reports. Then there can be reports like, I can show you one which is very important, which is not possible to design in DHIS2 default report, but we designed using the custom reporting. So, okay, let me go back to the other dashboard and let me show you with a product. So this is the stock card, means whatever you have done. So you start with this opening balance for this product, for the selected product, and then how much did you receive, how much have you dispensed, how much have you adjusted, and finally, what is the closing balance? You have 230 now at the end of the month. This is monthly stock card. Normally, stock cards are managed in health facilities in a YOLO card, and then they have it hang on the wall or near the products, but this is a digital stock card that can be used in the software. They can print it and use it, or export it to Excel and use it. So I guess we definitely should need some time, should keep some time for question answer. Can we then, let's then keep the floor open for questions, please. Thank you. And the floor is now open for questions.
Okay, can I ask?
Yeah, sure, please.
Okay, thanks. So I have an issue pertaining the offline capabilities of the system. So if somebody captures offline, does it mean that if they switch off the machine and then switch on, they can still have access to the offline data before uploading to the server?
Yeah, the data remains in that computer forever until you clean 100% clean the browser's cache, or the computer gets crashed or something, or the computer space gets completely exhausted. Other than that, the data is like a local database, like your computer hidden somewhere under the browser's own space. Okay, the data remains.
So
Even if you upload. Yeah.
Okay, so is this system installed locally?
Yeah, when I
like
say, okay, that's a good question. So it's not installed. In fact, the thing is, it's browser based, but it uses the browser's caching mechanism to run even when you do not have internet. Means it's, what do we say? It uses service worker. You might have heard of the word. It's called service worker. A service worker allows you to run a software or web-based software even when it's offline. So the software itself will run even when the internet goes off, because the pages or the data entry pages will get cached in your local browser's cache. So all these pages would be available even if you are disconnected. Until you clean, as I said, until you say, I want to clean my thing, then it will go away. Other than that, it will continue operations.
Okay, because I'm worried in terms of now, at times you need to clear the cache when you're having problems, or if there's an update to DHIS2.
Yeah, that's
so won't that also make the data to disappear? Or maybe they can download it once they are online.
Yeah, exactly. If you really need to clean the cache, everything you want to delete, you have to make sure that you do not have any number here, sync upload. If you do not have any number here, you are sure that your data is in the server. So next time you want to confirm, you just come to the restore and say start restore. It will delete your facility's local data and it will download again.
Okay.
Okay, great. I see a hand raised. Okay, would you mind? I'm sorry. Can you please introduce yourself just for the others to get introduced to you? That where are you from, and yeah, just a little brief, if possible.
Oh, it's fine. Thanks. My name is Paul Baloy. I'm working under MCDI in Equatorial Guinea, Malabo. So we have interest in the stock management because we're doing malaria and distributing the malaria reagents and also malaria medications. So I'm the health information systems advisor there.
Okay, great, great. Thank you for that. Okay, I see a hand raised. Yeah, you can ask. Yeah, you can just introduce
Yes.
very quickly, shortly, and then ask the question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am Silver from UNP Burundi. I have some more questions, some comments.
Yes, please.
The first one, I sent a message in the chat to ask if
Okay.
you are going to send us to share us the presentation and the recording after, of course, the presentation and the recording.
Yeah, sure. We will do it. Yeah, we will do it. We will share the presentation as well as the recording link.
Okay, another comment is about it's possible to add the partners. For example, UNFPA, who bought the product in the EMIS reports. I see you don't see the partners. It's possible to add partners.
So you mean,
Another,
okay, please. Yeah, you please
another
continue. Yeah, please continue. Sorry.
another comment. When you see the form, the EMIS report, it is possible to have a separately form for health district and another form for health facilities in the EMIS report. Another comment is about the in stock. What can I say? In a stock take, I see a stock gap. Normally, when you see the stock count, you see also the theoretical stock. But here I see the stock gap. Why you put stock gap? Thank you.
Okay, let me answer from the start. So when you say you want to see, let me minimize that as well. When you say you want to see the donor in the stock balance, I am assuming that you want to see, okay, whether this product came from UNFPA or UNICEF or the donor or the like a more clarified information against every batch of product, right? Is it batch wise? You want that information? You think that information should be kept?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that can be added because, I mean, we didn't want to put the donor there in case of the government wants to use it as a global system like that. Yeah, but that field can be added on any system where you want. If you want that can be added as an additional field in the batch table, like the source of fund, or we can say donor reference. Yeah, this kind of fields can be added. We will keep that as our what should I say, as our plan of update. Then we will seriously consider that in the future. Okay. The second thing you mentioned about the LMS report of the facility and the warehouse, right? So if I understood, I am logged in as a clinic here in the LMS report. So I am generating my own LMS report here, my clinics. And when I am logged in as the warehouse is generating their own LMS report of their opening, their receive, their issue, and their balance. When you say that you are seeing two different, it has to be maybe together. In the warehouse, in some countries, they have the facility balance as part of their LMS report, warehouses report also. Is that which you are pointing to? Or I didn't get your point maybe then correctly about the two LMS reports, two different types of LMS reports.
You say? I don't catch what you say.
Okay, sorry. I said like when you say two different LMIS reports, can you elaborate that question a little bit more, like what you wanted to see here? Like as a clinic, this is my LMIS report in my health facility. So in the
My
warehouse,
question,
yes,
when
please.
you are in the health facilities, in the
Yes.
clinic,
Yeah.
there are no issue. I see a call issue. The issue is in the district. I think
Okay.
at
The
the
issued column can
district.
be hidden. Yeah, exactly. It does.
Yeah.
It's not by issue. Yeah, yeah. It has to be
Yeah.
there for the districts only. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, we
Yeah.
will hide this
Okay.
column for the facilities. Definitely. Thanks for that comment.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. On the third
Okay.
one, you mentioned about stock gap in the stock tech page. Let me go there and quickly try to understand. So, or let's start a new one and then say what does stock gap means. So, what we say that. So, in case of digital stock management, what we are saying, when you do a physical inventory manually without software, then this column that you see here, let me make it a little bigger, right? This column that you have here is actually what the software is saying that, okay, the software says you have 200, 300, 199 like that. So now as a stock take form, what would they do as they want to do stock take? They will go and count the stock physically, right? So if they find, okay, they cannot find more than 190. So this is what they have to put in, that we found 190. They cannot write more than that, right? So this is the gap. So what would happen is, I mean, if they find correct, that would not be a problem. Okay, we counted and it's 300, no problem at all. So this, and it can be like, it can happen that there can be positive or negative gaps. So when I post to stock, this invoice will automatically generate the like the adjustments, positive and negative adjustments in stock, and the stock count would be updated to this number because you found this as physical. You cannot get more because you counted. So the current balance should be this based on this stock take. So that's why we say this as a gap, because it's the gap between your computer's current balance, software's current balance, and your physical count. So do you think then it's fine that stock take stock gap word to put it here was okay?
I think it's okay, but I think it's in the stock management. In the demo, you put the same quantity in the physical count and stock gap. I think it's in the stock management. You put the same quantity in the demo.
Okay,
In
sorry.
stock
Okay,
management.
I
Stock
understand now.
management.
Okay.
Okay.
Stock
Yes.
management, yeah, I mean the form is this one actually, the stock take, the initial stock take, you mean the first stock take that I did.
Okay.
What I did, because when I start the software, I do not have any balance, right? Current balance is not there. I go to my system and then I count and I put my current physical count. That's why it's a complete gap, because I didn't have any stock in my software. That's why the whole quantity has come into here as a gap. Like, your initial stock
Okay.
is the gap. That's why it is like that.
Okay.
Is it fine now?
Okay. It's fine.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. Okay, so let's check whether there are any questions in the chat box. Let's minimize and then try to find out if was there more questions in the chat box. Others can also see the presentation. Definitely will share. Does the system need another DHIS2 instance, or it can be fully integrated to an existing? Well, that's a tricky question. Okay, so our SoftLMIS has its metadata. Like think about the DHIS2 metadata or the World Health metadata package for different programs. So yes, the short answer is yes, it can be installed or implemented in any existing DHIS2, but it needs some more work. Means our metadata need to be imported, some settings need to be changed, our Node.js API need to be set up in that server. That's the big answer, but the short answer is yes, it is possible to install in any existing DHIS2 instance. Currently, we propose it to be at least in 2.36, not before that, because we haven't, there were some issues with the previous versions. We have properly tested it on in 2.36. The higher versions we haven't yet tested. We definitely will test in next 1 or 2 months, but we prefer 2.36 for the implementation for now. Any other questions? I guess not. In the chat box, is there any hand raised in the participants list? Then we can hear. Any other questions, comments? I guess not. So then, yeah, it was really nice demonstrating the software, as well as getting the questions and get to know that people are getting interested in the software. In the coming week, we expect to do a French webinar, specific French webinar next week. And then we have some other software systems as well. We do want to demonstrate those softwares as well to the community. We will set up webinars every 2 weeks of some other new softwares that we have developed. I see another question: is it possible to navigate in through other DHIS2 feature while offline? Well, actually not. The other parts of the DHIS2, they started working on it actually. Like some dashboards can be kept on offline now, but the other parts of the software mostly is not offline capable in terms of browsing the URL. We have made our app side, our app offline with our, what should I say, with our service worker, but the main DHIS2 mostly will not be possible to be offline. But if you come to the application directly using the URL, you can continue using it. That's what we found. There was a question in the middle. How about SMS and email notifications? I mentioned about it in my presentation. There can be periodic emails, or even emails on certain events, like when an order is generated and uploaded, an email and SMS is sent. When an issue invoice is generated, an email and SMS is sent. When an LMIS report is generated, an email and SMS is sent. When at the end of month you can have an email sent to a certain team of DHIS2 user with near expiry products, let's say products expiring in 30 days, or even list of facilities having stock out of tracer commodities, like that email. Those kinds of emails can be easy to set. Can you elaborate more when you say, sorry, can you mention, like, to elaborate what? Okay, about the offline. So you want to know a little more about the offline. Okay, the tablet version. So we are going to develop a tablet-based complete offline version, which will be an APK, like any other applications that you download from the App Store for Android. We will not go for Apple. So when you download that and you first log in as a facility, you can continue completely offline. It means you don't even have to go to the browser or do anything. You just be inside that app, save your data. The data would be safely stored inside your application storage space, unlimited storage as of you can use for any other application. And then you can synchronize when you need the data to be synchronized. So it's nearly like what's available in the web, but it's more control over the offline when you are in the tablet. the DHIS2 will not ask you to log in because you are not in DHIS2's purview. You are using kind of a DHIS2 based tool, but you are offline in your tablet. That's what the tablet application will do. We expect to get it delivered in next 3 months. We started working on it, but it's a little involved operations when it goes to DHIS2 interoperability. So we will keep you updated here in IPHL on the progress. Definitely when the app is ready, we would have another session on it. Thank you for that question. Any other questions in the chat box? I don't see any others. No hand raised on the right side as well. So I guess in that case, our time for the meeting is over. And if you don't have any other questions, we can call it a day. So let me stop the share. And then thank you, everyone. So one thing we can do before logging off, we can have our, if you have the option, we can have our video turned on just to see each other who were in the chair, and we can take a screenshot of it about the participation, people who were there in the call, if possible. I hear that there is another
Thank you
question in
very
the chat
much.
box. Okay, thank you. I hear that there is another question in the chat box. How much time to integrate? So integrate, I mean, if the question is about installation, like how much time do we take to implement the software? As I mentioned, the maximum time would be 6 months from starting to a what should I say, to a TOT and not national rollout. Yeah. So yeah, it's people are coming in. So it was nice meeting all of you. Let's just wait for a few if people are coming in. Okay, I guess that's some of us, I'm sure they might not want to open the camera. That's fine in a way if it's not. So I'll just take a screenshot of it and I'll keep it in my archive that we had this call. And it was nice meeting all of you. Thank you. And bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Likewise. You are going to share with us the recording and the presentation.
Yeah, the presentation and recording I'll share. Yeah, just after the call ends.
But I'm not sure if you have my email.
Okay, that's one good thing though. So I will, yeah, I mean, I have done one bad thing actually. I should have asked everyone's email in the chat box.
You can give, yeah, or you can give send me your email. I can send you a message.
Yeah, sure. Let me write my email address here. This is my email address, which I have written in the chat.
Mahmoud Arbaz Softworks deep.com.
Yeah, this is my official email address. So yeah, those who are in the chat box, if you can just, if you want to take the email address, just take it and then you can have it you can give a hi to me, then yeah, I mean, I did something wrong. I should have asked for the email address to everyone. Otherwise, it would be difficult to send the, I see people are still here. So you can take my email, give me a hi so that I can send the presentation and the recording to all of you as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Are-